Et tu, brute. On March 15th, 44 BC, Julius Caesar was surrounded and assassinated by around 40 Roman senators. After taking stock of his various attackers, he spoke his final words to one who was very close to him. Et tu, brute. The story of Julius Caesar is inseparable from these famous last words, but Caesar never said this. The quote first appeared in William Shakespeare's play about Caesar. That's not to say that it isn't somewhat based in reality, but there is debate among historians about Caesar's last words. When the attack began, Caesar said in Latin, "Ista quidem vis est," or "but this is violence." There are two common theories, both of which date back to at least the 2nd century AD. Some accounts claim those were his last words, and that he said nothing further once the stabbing began. Others claimed that he then spoke the words, "You too, child," somewhat similar to the famous "Et tu, brute." However, if Caesar really did say those words, it's reported that he said them in Greek rather than in Latin. If he did say that, it's also unclear whether the comment was even directed at Marcus Brutus, or if it was meant to be for Decimus Junius Brutus Albinus, who he referred to as being like a son to him, and who many believed was in fact his illegitimate child. Benjamin Franklin's kite. In June 1752, Benjamin Franklin tied a key to a string and flew it during a thunderstorm. The key was struck by lightning, and thus Franklin discovered electricity. That's how the story was originally told, though more recently it's become common knowledge that people already understood the existence of electricity and that Franklin was merely trying to prove lightning was made up of electricity. Although the story is considered apocryphal, with many historians doubting its authenticity, the origin of this story is a letter written by Franklin himself. However, in the letter, Franklin merely described the experiment. He never stated when or even if he had actually conducted it. 15 years later, Joseph Priestley's book History and Present Status of Electricity recounted the tale, presumably with additional details provided to him by Franklin. While Priestley claims that Franklin and his son did conduct the experiment, there was no claim that the key was struck by lightning. If it had been, Franklin almost certainly would have died. We know this because others died while conducting lightning rod experiments described by Franklin. According to the book, the kite was drawn back down to the ground after flying in the storm, and Franklin felt an electrical charge on the key when he touched it. It had picked up ambient electrical charge in the air. Benjamin Franklin's national bird. It's tradition to eat turkey on Thanksgiving in the United States, but according to a popular story, this wouldn't be the case if Benjamin Franklin had his way. This story started to circulate in newspapers when the United States was celebrating its 100th birthday, and it was based on a letter that Franklin wrote to his daughter. In the letter, Franklin criticized the bald eagle, calling it lazy and of bad moral character. He went on to say that the turkey was a much more respectable bird, and withal a true original native of America. But while Franklin may have preferred the turkey to the eagle, he never nominated it to be the national bird, nor did he make any of these comments publicly.